My wife said, "I don't care if we divorce." I replied, "Then I'll file the papers." Then I hired the best lawyer in the city, froze our joint accounts, and started documenting every lie she told our children. And I just smiled, because she thought she could have her lover and my paycheck. But she's about to learn what happens when a provider stops providing. Original post: I'm 32 years old. My wife Sarah is 28. We have been married for almost 10 years. We have 3 wonderful kids, all under the age of 8. I work a demanding job to provide for us, and she has been a stay-at-home mom since our first was born. She doesn't have a college degree or a career. I always thought that was our arrangement, our partnership. I built the financial foundation, and she built the home. I thought we had a strong family. I thought we were happy. The past few months, things felt a little off. Sarah started going to the gym more, sometimes twice a day. She said she needed an outlet, some time for herself, which I completely supported. She became more attached to her phone, always keeping its screen down on the counter. I brushed it off. I trusted her. After a decade and 3 children, you don't jump to the worst conclusion. You assume your partner is just dealing with the stresses of life. The suspicion started with a small, stupid detail. I was looking over our credit card statement, just doing the monthly budget, and I saw a charge for a hotel bar. It was on a Tuesday afternoon. The hotel was near her gym, but it was a day she told me she was taking the kids to the park. It wasn't a huge amount, just 2 drinks. But it was the lie that stuck with me. A tiny crack in the foundation. Why would she lie about something so small? I didn't say anything. I just watched. The phone was the biggest clue. It never left her side. One evening, she set it on the kitchen counter while she was getting the kids ready for bed. A text message lit up the screen. It was from a name I didn't recognize, Chad, with a string of heart emojis next to it. The message preview was short. "Can't stop thinking about today." My blood ran cold. I stood there staring at the phone, my heart hammering in my chest. This wasn't a small lie about a drink. This was something else entirely. I felt a profound sense of calm wash over me, the kind of stillness that comes in the eye of a hurricane. I knew with absolute certainty what I had to do. That night, I waited until she was fast asleep. Her phone was on her nightstand, charging. My hand was shaking as I picked it up. I guessed her password on the second try. It was our anniversary. The irony was a physical pain. I opened her messages. It was all there. A 2-month affair with a personal trainer from our gym. They met in hotel rooms. They texted constantly. He sent her pictures. She sent them back. And then I saw the worst part. It wasn't the pictures or the sexting. It was the messages she sent to her best friend. She told her friend that she was in love with this man. She wrote that she knew there was a 90% chance the affair would end our marriage. And she followed it with 3 words that will be burned into my memory forever. I don't care. She had a plan. She was going to wait for things to calm down between us, then find a way to leave me and go back to him. I didn't wake her. I didn't throw the phone against the wall. I sat on the edge of the bed in the dark and methodically took screenshots of everything. The love declarations. The hotel plans. The messages to her friend. I emailed every single one to a new, secret email address I created on my own phone. Then I placed her phone back on the nightstand, exactly as I had found it. I went downstairs, sat on the couch in the silent house we had built together, and waited for the sun to come up. Update 1. The next morning, I went to work as if nothing had happened. I kissed her goodbye. I told the kids I loved them. Inside, I was a hollow shell. I felt nothing but a cold, hard resolve. I wasn't going to explode. I wasn't going to give her the drama she might have expected. I was going to dismantle our life with surgical precision. I didn't do any work that day. I spent the entire morning on the phone in my car, in the office parking lot. I found the name of the best, most ruthless divorce attorney in the city. I scheduled a consultation for that afternoon. I explained the situation to him in a flat, emotionless voice. I showed him the screenshots. He was clinical and efficient. He told me exactly what to do: secure finances, document everything, protect the children. The next day, I took a personal day from work. I told Sarah I had an off-site meeting that would last all day. Instead, I went to the bank. I opened a new checking account in my name only. I called my company's HR department and had my direct deposit rerouted to the new account. I took exactly half of the money from our joint savings and moved it into my new account. I left her half untouched. Then I went home. She was surprised to see me pull into the driveway at 2 in the afternoon. The kids were still at school. She was in her gym clothes, on her way out the door. "You're home early," she said, a flicker of panic in her eyes. "We need to talk," I said. I walked past her into the kitchen. I sat down at the table we'd bought together a decade ago. The table where we ate dinner with our children every night. "Sit down, Sarah." She hesitated, then sat down across from me. Her leg was bouncing nervously. I didn't raise my voice. I looked her directly in the eye. "Who is Chad?" The color drained from her face. "What? He's just a guy from the gym. A friend." The lies came so easily. It was chilling. I didn't argue. I didn't accuse. I simply slid my phone across the table. It was open to a single screenshot. A text from her to him. "I love you so much. You make me feel alive." She stared at the screen. The silence in the room was absolute. Then, she broke. It wasn't a quiet cry. It was a complete, theatrical collapse. She started sobbing, her head in her hands. She slid off her chair and onto her knees, trying to crawl into my lap. "It was a mistake," she wailed. "It meant nothing. I was just so lonely. I love you, only you." I stood up and moved away from her. Her touch felt like a burn. "Get up, Sarah." She looked up at me, her face a mess of tears and makeup. "Please, don't do this. Don't break up our family. I'm not the one who broke it," I said, my voice as cold as ice. "I saw the text to your friend. The ones where you said you didn't care if we divorced. The ones where you said you planned to leave me for him." Her crying stopped. Her eyes widened in horror. She finally understood that I knew everything. The game was over. "I've spoken to a lawyer," I said. "I'm filing for divorce. I want you to pack a bag. You can go to your mother's. You have until I get back with the kids from school. You are not going to be here tonight." I turned and walked out the door to go pick up my children, leaving her on the floor of the kitchen, finally facing the consequences of her choices. Update 2. The days that followed were a blur of legal maneuvers and emotional warfare. I was served with divorce papers a week later at her mother's house. As my lawyer had advised, I had frozen our joint credit cards. I had a new card issued to her with a strict, but reasonable, monthly limit for necessities. It was all legal, all by the book. My paycheck was secure in my own account. For the first time in her adult life, she had no access to unlimited funds. The begging and crying quickly turned to rage and manipulation. She started a campaign to paint me as the villain. Her social media was filled with vague, passive-aggressive posts about husbands who abandon their families, about how some men can't handle a strong woman finding her own happiness. It was a masterpiece of revisionist history. Then, she started using the kids. It was the cruelest thing she could have done. During her scheduled phone calls, she would tell them things like, "Daddy is kicking mommy out of our house," and "Daddy doesn't love mommy anymore, and he might stop loving you too." My 7-year-old son came to me in tears one night, asking if I was going to send him away too. The rage I felt was a pure, white-hot fire, but I didn't engage. I followed my lawyer's advice. I documented every single word. I installed a call recording app on the home phone. I saved every manipulative text. I started a journal, writing down every lie she told the children, every instance of parental alienation. The truth, however, has a way of coming out. The affair partner, Chad, was married. His wife found out. I don't know how. Maybe a friend of a friend from the gym talked. It wasn't me. I had no interest in his life. But his wife was not as quiet as I was. She created a public social media post, tagging both Chad and my wife. She posted screenshots of their messages. She told the whole world what they had done. The fallout was swift. The gym fired Chad for unprofessional conduct. His wife filed for divorce. He was disgraced. And Sarah, my wife, was publicly humiliated. Her friends, who had been supporting her narrative of being a victim, saw the undeniable proof. They saw her own words, declaring her love for another man. They saw her carelessness, her cruelty. The calls of support stopped. She was left completely alone, with nothing but the mess she had made. I moved quickly. My lawyer filed a motion for an emergency temporary custody order. We presented the court with my documentation, the recordings of her calls with the kids, her social media posts, the evidence of her ongoing instability. The judge didn't hesitate. I was granted temporary sole physical custody of my children. She was granted supervised visitation twice a week. I had control. I had protected my kids. The war wasn't over, but I had won the most important battle. Update 3. A month passed. The rhythm of our new life began to set in. I was a single father of 3, and it was the hardest thing I had ever done. But every night, when I tucked my children into their own beds, in their own home, I knew I had made the right choice. Then, the inevitable happened. Sarah called me. She sounded different. The anger was gone, replaced by a desperate pleading tone. "Can we please talk?" she asked. Not on the phone. In person. A part of me wanted to say no, but I knew I had to see her. I needed to close this chapter for myself, face to face. "Fine," I said. "There's a Starbucks halfway between the house and your mother's. I can be there tomorrow at 10. I made it clear this was not a social call. This was not a date. When I saw her walk into the coffee shop, I felt a jolt. Not of love, or hate, or even pity. I felt nothing. She looked smaller, diminished. She had lost weight. Her clothes were wrinkled. The confident, vibrant woman I had married was gone. In her place was this tired, defeated stranger. She started talking before she even sat down. The words poured out of her in a torrent of regret and self-pity. She was sorry. She had made a terrible mistake. She didn't know what she was thinking. Chad was a monster who had manipulated her. She blamed her unhappiness, her lack of a career, the stress of being a stay-at-home mom. She blamed everything and everyone except herself. "I'm falling back in love with you," she said, her eyes welling up with tears. "I see now that you are my everything. I'll do anything to fix this. I'll go to therapy. I'll be the wife you deserve." I listened patiently, sipping my black coffee. I let her say everything she needed to say. When she finally fell silent, exhausted and hopeful, I put my cup down and looked at her. "No," I said. My voice was quiet but firm. Her face crumpled. "No, what do you mean no?" "I mean no, Sarah. We are not fixing this." "There is nothing to fix," I said. "You told your friend you didn't care if we divorced. You told me to my face after I found out that you didn't love me. I believe you. But I've changed," she insisted. "I realize now what I lost." "No," I said, standing up from the table. "You don't miss me. You miss my paycheck. You miss this house. You miss the life I provided. The person you are pretending to be right now is not real. It's an act of desperation because your plan failed. The divorce is moving forward. I'm going to take care of our children. You need to figure out how to take care of yourself." I put a $10 bill on the table to cover her coffee. I didn't say goodbye. I just turned and walked out of the coffee shop, leaving her sitting there alone, finally forced to confront the reality she had created. The door closed behind me, and I didn't look back. Final update: it has been 7 months since I met my ex-wife in that coffee shop. The divorce was finalized 2 months ago. It was a clean break. Given the evidence of her affair and the parental alienation, the judge was firmly on my side. I was awarded the family home and primary physical custody of our 3 children. She has the kids every other weekend, and her visitation is still supervised. The court ordered her to find a job and pay a small amount of child support. She is living in a small, 1-bedroom apartment across town that her parents are helping her pay for. She found a part-time job as a receptionist at a doctor's office. When I see her during the custody exchanges, she looks hollowed out. The spark is gone. Her affair partner, Chad, is long gone. He moved to another state after his own divorce was finalized. He never contacted her again. She made her choice, and she was left with nothing. My children are doing better. They are in therapy, and it has helped them process the confusion and hurt. The lies have stopped. They are starting to understand the situation in an age-appropriate way. My oldest daughter asked me recently, "Why doesn't mommy live with us anymore?" I sat her down and told her the truth, in the simplest terms I could. Mommy made some grown-up mistakes that meant it wasn't healthy for us to all live in the same house anymore. But she is still your mommy, and she loves you very much. And I am still your daddy, and I love you more than anything. It's the best I can do, and for now, it seems to be enough. As for me, I feel a sense of peace I haven't felt in years. The stress is gone. The anger has faded. I don't hate her. I don't wish her ill. When I think of her, I feel nothing at all. It's just a blank space where a decade of my life used to be. My focus is singular on my children and our future. I've gained back the 20 pounds I lost. I sleep through the night. I've even started going to the gym again, a different one, of course. The other night, I was tucking my youngest son into bed. He wrapped his small arms around my neck and whispered, "Daddy, are you happy now?" I paused and thought about it. I looked around his small room, at the posters on the wall and the toys on the floor. I thought about the quiet stability of our home, the life I had fought to preserve for them. "Yes, buddy," I whispered back, and the words felt absolutely true. I am very happy. The life I had built with her was gone, but the family I was building with my children was just beginning. And it was stronger than ever.